Like many of you, I wake up every single day terrified that I'm going to open my phone and find out that Kanye West said some more dumb shit. And today, oh boy, today, he has said a lot of dumb shit, which is a hard thing to juggle along with my enjoyment of his music, like the album Graduation.
Find your dreams come true.
This is the first album I ever bought on iTunes when I was 12 years old. But it's getting harder and harder to ignore the things that Kanye says. And I've avoided making a video about Kanye for months now. I mean, he's been in the news, I feel like, every other week since October. Why? Well, not because I'm trying to defend his actions or be an apologist for him, but because I feel like Kanye's a provocateur. He's going to say the most dumb and insane shit possible to get the most media attention, so then he can say more insane dumb shit, and it becomes an Ouroboros of stupidity. But the same way he's able to flex his First Amendment right to say those things, I feel like I should be able to use my First Amendment right to admonish them. And so that's what I'm hoping to do today. So let's start at the beginning. Where did this all come from? Well, really, we can boil it down to a single Kanye West tweet that dropped in October that said, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people," which is weird because it's DEFCON. And 3 is like the middle one. It's not like the worst one, and it's not like the least serious one. It's like middle of the road. And then he says, "I can't be yada yada yada." And that got him in some heat. That's a few months ago. You guys might remember he got dropped from like Adidas, all of his sponsors, and then he went on like a media tour. He went on any podcast or show that would get him on there and said some crazy things, which usually ended up in him leaving the show. So here's him on Piers Morgan about a month ago.
Okay, so I'm going to tell people when I would apologize for the tweet. This is what has to happen
The tweet
first.
about
I need
DEFCON.
all of the top executives.
I'm going to skip. What he needs is all the executives at like record labels to show everybody's contract, I think, is about it.
That's clear.
Interview adjourned. Love you.
Now you can imagine that got some press, so he went on another podcast.
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about, are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
Walked out of that one too. He even got a little bit heated with Lex Friedman, who I feel like usually has the best conversations when this man sits down with people. I feel like, he's able to, grab a beer, get along with pretty much anyone opposing him in the chair. But Kanye seemed to have the highest tensions on this pod.
I'm trying to call you out in your bullshit because I hope I'm somebody you can trust.
I
That's
don't
it.
fucking trust you.
Well, you should find people in your life you can trust.
Don't tell me what I should do. I'm not one of your BLM marchers.
So this is the backdrop. Kanye's banned on Twitter, goes on a bunch of podcasts, tries to speak his mind. And then, of course, Elon buys Twitter. And what happens to Kanye? Well, he gets unbanned on Twitter along with Trump and like Andrew Tate. And where does that lead us? Well, with him tweeting out shalom. He's back on to the admiration of many. But this is I think the start of the end. This is the start of what has led us to today, where Kanye has said some insane shit that you'll hear about in a minute that are pretty much impossible to get behind unless you are just truly racist or anti-Semitic. But before we get to that, I have to tell you about something else, which is the sponsor of today's stream, my chess boxing event. Now, if you don't know, that huge Nintendo drama that happened a couple days ago has left people out on their asses for the Smash World Tour, which was supposed to happen the same date, December 11th, as my chess boxing event. And so I decided I would get a little bit crazy. And this might make me go bankrupt, but fuck it, we'll do it anyway. I am going to be selling tickets for 1 hour, all right? If you're watching this video right now, you should go to ludwig.gg right now and use code $1, all capital dollar, one the number, dollar, and the tickets will be sold for literally $1. I think there's some fees with the venue that I can't get around, but I will receive $1 from you, and it'll only be for 1 hour. Look, I just wanted something for people to do on the exact weekend of Smash World Tour, and I know a lot of Smashers are in town for main stage, so if you were supposed to go there, come for $1. If you wanted to come but it was out of your budget, you got 1 hour. Good luck. Go, go, go. Anyway, back to the story of Kanye West. What happens after he's unbanned for Twitter? He announces his campaign for presidency for 2024. Now, you might remember Kanye was also on the ballot for 2020. He went a little bit late, so I think he had to be written in a lot of states. But now he's announcing very early that he's on the ballot for 2024. And not only is he on the ballot, he also had a meeting with Donald Trump, and he asked Trump to be his running mate, former president, which made Trump get upset, and then he started making fun of Kim Kardashian. And so that's a crazy thing. And then he continued his podcast tour. And his final stop was on Alex Jones's podcast InfoWars. Now, you probably know Alex Jones because he said some crazy things about the shooting in Connecticut over a decade ago, and now lost a lawsuit where he has to pay $1 billion to those families. He even has a dedicated podcast to just correcting the things that he says that are wrong, which I don't know what has to go wrong in your life that people dedicate their time to just calling you out on your bullshit. But that's what happens. And the podcast is unhinged. This podcast was fucking crazy. I mean, just look at this clip alone.
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also.
I'm sorry, what?
I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love, us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table.
Whoa! Okay. Now that was Alex Jones trying to be charitable towards Kanye, saying, "Hey, you're not Hitler, man." And then Kanye somehow taking that, which was meant to be like a compliment, a giving of good grace, and turned it around and said, Hitler's not that bad. Which I feel like is the one thing almost everyone outside of Nazis can get behind, is that he is that bad. It's like the great uniter. It's like the closest our country has ever been is when we fought against Nazis. And if you maybe are still being charitable towards Kanye, you might see, well, he's trying to find the good in anything, like a devout Christian would. But it doesn't end. It doesn't.
Schwarzenegger said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
That was him saying, I like Hitler in closing, which, okay, that's a little bit different than trying to find good in people.
Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh, man. Well,
you know you're in trouble when the most sane person in the room seems to be Alex Jones, who has to pay almost $1 billion for all the insane shit he has said over the past decade. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Of Ukraine and Russia. I haven't really seen so much of that in the news. I'm, of course, pro-Putin. I'm very pro-Russia.
I am also.
Let's go. Yeah.
It's like you met somebody at a bar who happens to be a Patriots fans, but they're talking about Putin, who's trying to take over all of Ukraine right now. It's crazy to me, the things you're saying. And I've seen the dick riding extend about as far as it can towards Kanye for all of his fans. I mean, shit, I like a lot of the Kanye songs. What the fuck does Kanye know about politics? This guy just seems to be going on any podcast and saying the most insane shit, and it always escalates on every new podcast he appears on. I mean, check out this clip.
hearing I'm a Nazi. I'm really, because I'm not. But
Alex Jones trying to rein in. Imagine Alex Jones trying to rein in his guest Kanye. He says, hey, I'm not a Nazi. Come on. At least we can find some equal footing on that.
I think by them falsely accusing people, some people are going to become Nazis.
I am. Now what? I am.
You're
now
what?
Now I'm a Nazi, Ari Emanuel. Isn't that?
And look, it's just a weird fucking interview. I mean, outside of the insanely, provocateur and terrible shit he's saying, he also had this weirdly long segment where he pretended to be the leader of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, because his name's Netanyahu. He brought out a net in a bottle of Yahoo. I'll just let it play out. It's crazy.
Perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad got the truck to meet with Nick and Jake. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
I'm just saying, like, look, there are a lot of ways to criticize the leaders of countries, especially Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, you could easily criticize that guy, but you're going to roast him for his voice that you put on for him? But then when Hitler comes up, you're like, you know what? That guy, say what you will about Hitler, but I think he was a bad guy through and through. That's where I'm at on it. And look, if you are trying still somehow to find any shred of dignity to throw to Kanye, I think this about
like
seals it.
I don't like Hitler. And I know you're trying to be shocking with that.
I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. I do not. The Holocaust is not what happened. Let's look at the facts of that. And Hitler has a lot of redeeming qualities.
And then he follows up on that Holocaust comment.
Really cool outfit and stuff. And he was a really good architect. And
so you're in love with the look of it.
And he didn't kill 6 million Jews. That's just like factually incorrect.
Guys, get the Ronald Reagan clip they showed me yesterday.
Tries to cut him off because it is factually correct. It is factually correct. I mean, it's like one of the easily most researchable, documented genocides ever, like in world history. It happened very recently. Like there are still people who are alive for it. Many people who are alive for it that experienced it. And to be someone with that level of platform saying that shit, First Amendment, whatever you want, fine. Okay, I get it. But First Amendment, freedom of speech, does not mean freedom of consequence. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't lose all respect that people have for you. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to be criticized for the shit that you say. And Kanye, especially as somebody who's running for president in 2024, who I'm so worried about, high schoolers who he specifically said in the interview he thinks about and he is trying to appeal to, or college kids who might vote for Kanye half as a joke, half because they culturally impacted them because of the music that he's put out. When his platforms right now are, I like Nazis, and Hitler not that bad, and Holocaust is fake, is crazy. It's crazy to me, and it's causing real, genuine harm. I mean, this was an article that came out a couple of weeks ago where a Jewish cemetery in Illinois was vandalized with swastikas and had Kanye was right messages on it, and it's causing real harm. It's causing real harm. So look, Kanye, I cannot think of a bigger dumbass. I hope we never have to talk about him again. I hope the next interviews he does go under the radar, but it's all over my timeline. And I figure with my much smaller voice, I can at least use my First Amendment right to tell you guys I think he's a dumb piece of shit. And that's about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe while you're here and have a good rest of your day. Hopefully in the future we can go back to talking about how Nintendo's cringe and not how one of my favorite artists growing up is like a Nazi sympathizer. Whoa, crazy year.